Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer, and if you want to know who I am, like what describes me in general, I will refer to my introduction video. I will also put it in the description box below so you will be able to watch it. So in 2 days, 2 days, I'll be going to England for an event that's called Artscape. By this time that you might see this video, I probably already went there though. So what is Artscape? Artscape is a multi-day autistic conference that is organized by autistic people, specifically designed to accommodate their unique needs. Here's the thing, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. You know, I am excited about the experience and what I will learn, but I will be lying if I said that I'm not anxious. And traveling as a neurodivergent person comes with its own set of challenges, and that's what I want to talk about today. I'll share some of my personal experiences, some tips that help me, and hopefully help others who may be in the same boat, or train, or airplane. So let's dive in. The first thing I want to talk about is the emotional aspect of traveling as a neurodivergent person. I'm sure many of you can relate to the feeling of excitement mixed with a lot of dread. It's not that we don't want to go on these trips. I mean, trust me, I'm looking forward to the experience at Artscape, but at the same time, the thought of organizing everything is exhausting. For me, the hardest part is managing my energy levels and dealing with anxiety of the unknown, since I've never been to England. And also the idea of packing, navigating train stations, a country where I've never been, like I said, and adjusting to environments can feel like a mountain to climb, honestly. And I have noticed that I often have to do a lot of emotional preparation before a trip. I mentally rehearse scenarios, prepare for sensory overload, and sometimes even struggle with the idea of leaving my safe space, like home. Yeah. One thing that really helps me is to acknowledge my feelings and just tell myself that it's okay to feel this way. I also try to remind myself that it's totally normal to feel tired or anxious about something that requires so much planning and adjustment, especially when I already had so much periods of stress and stuff going on in general. Okay, now let's get practical. When it comes to packing, neurodivergent people often have specific needs that go beyond just clothes and toiletries and having a good time. For me, my packing list includes noise-canceling headphones like AirPods or loop earplugs, stim toys, my supplements, medication for my asthma, and a detailed plan of what to expect during the trip. I really feel myself calming down when I'm able to listen to music, for example, so that really helps me. So one of the stim toys I'm going to bring during my trip is this one. It's a silicone ball that's meant for stress. I like to squeeze in it while I talk to people. Most of the time, I still try to mask that I'm using this ball by putting it in my pocket and squeezing it in my pocket so that no one will actually see that I use this. I don't know if you can hear it, but it has been very loud with kids today, like kids all over the street, people honking their car horns and music, and it's overwhelming, to say the least. But anyway, this is what I use. You can also use a fidget spinner or a piece of fabric with a comfortable or comforting texture. Just having something to stim with in general makes me more grounded, and maybe it might also help for you. If you are on extra medications, make sure that you have enough to last the entire trip plus a few extra days just in case. Also keep them in your carry-on to avoid any issues with lost luggage if that may be the case. especially if you can't keep your luggage with you. I'm very happy that I'll be able to keep my luggage as I will be going with the Eurostar, so I can just put my luggage at the top of my head and keep my bag with me. But that may not be the case when you go by airplane. So I think that's also important to make a plan because having a plan gives me a sense of control. I make sure that I know my travel schedule, check on last minute changes, where I left my passport, tickets, what to expect at my destination, and even plan some downtime for myself to recharge. You could actually pack a comfort kit with all of the essentials that will help you to stay grounded during your trip. That way, they will be in one place and you won't have to search when you're really in need of those items. What I also found helpful when anxiety comes up in my body is to take breaks. Please don't be afraid to take breaks because if you're feeling overwhelmed, find a quiet corner or even a restroom to get a few minutes of peace. That can actually be helpful. Also, don't hesitate to ask for assistance at the airport or when going by train, because many travel services offer these things for passengers that are disabled and might need some extra help. And they also sell a Sunflower Hidden Disabilities keycord. With this keycord, you can signpost others around you that you may have additional needs and that you have a hidden disability. Most people will be familiar with the keycord, but it wouldn't hurt to have an explanation available when they ask you about it. Just know that you only have to share the fact that you may have a hidden disability. It's not in their right to ask about what kind of disability you have. So if you're not comfortable with sharing that, you shouldn't. But if you find it hard to explain that you have a hidden disability, just bring some communication cards with you that make it clear. So another tip is to really be mindful of your anxiety levels. I often find that breathing exercises help me stay a little bit more centered. Just deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth can do wonders when you're feeling stressed. So let's talk a little bit more about where I'm going. I already said it just a little bit, but I want to talk about it a little more because I think it might be interesting. So I will be going to Artscape. I already told a little bit about what it is, but if you would like some more information, I will leave the website in my description box down below, so you will get more information if you would like to. So like I said before, it's 4 days of presentations, workshops, and, well, an opportunity to socialize if you prefer that, because nothing is mandatory there. It is all set in an environment that is made to accommodate autistic needs, and that is actually huge to me. What I find so intriguing about Artscape is the idea of being in a neurodivergent friendly space, and it's designed to reduce the stressors that typically come with attending conferences. For example, there is no pressure to socialize, the environment is sensory friendly, and the entire event is built around understanding and acceptance. So I will be attending workshops and presentations, but I'm also planning to take one extra day at Artscape just to land and have that buffer time to process everything without the pressure of jumping straight back into regular life. Only the thought of being in a space where I don't have to mask or explain myself feels both exciting and shocking at the same time, because I'm very used to masking in my daily life, and I might even do it in front of the camera sometimes. It's not my intention, but it is just so ingrained in my body and in what I'm used to in order to survive that I still do it. And I'm actually trying to relearn this in myself to do it less in environments that make me feel safe, but it's still a learning curve, and that's also okay. So I'm curious to see how it feels to be fully immersed in an environment like that. So before I wrap up, I want to share even more travel tips that I have found helpful as a neurodivergent person. These are just small strategies that can make a big difference in how smoothly your trip goes. So, first of all, create a detailed itinerary. As I mentioned earlier, having a plan is crucial, at least for me. Some people like a bit of spontaneity, but even with a schedule, you can make room for that. I mean, just plan it in as well. Write down the details of the trip you're going to make, residence check in times, and even a basic outline of your daily schedule. This not only helps with anxiety, but also gives you a clear roadmap to follow. Number two, break down tasks. Large tasks like packing or preparing documents can be overwhelming, so breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps make things a lot easier. You can actually hear me talk about breaking down steps into tiny bits in my other video. Go watch that video if you would like to get some more helpful tips on that. So, number three, practice self advocacy. Don't hesitate to ask for what you need. This is a learning curve for me, honestly. Most people are really willing to help you. I will give you an example. I am really bad at remembering routes and where things are located in general, so I just ask people. And a friend told me that asking people those things are also good conversation starters. So that is two in one. Four, build in downtime. As neurodivergent people, we cannot skip the downtime. I'm serious. Just schedule time each day where you can just relax, recharge, and do something that suits you. It could be as simple as listening to music, reading, or taking a quiet walk. 5. Prepare for the unexpected. No matter how well you plan, things can go wrong, and they will. Like, for instance, delays, cancellations, or lost items. Having a backup plan, like knowing where to find help or having emergency contacts, can ease the stress when things don't go as planned. Just tell them what you're about to do and what you might need from them in a situation that occurs where you get a lot of stress and panic because chaos. And this is mainly the reason why I don't travel entirely alone. I might come to a stage where I find it possible to do so, but for now, it's not going to happen. And most of the time, I ask someone else, which I travel with, to be my tour guide because I already get a lot of information into my brain and I really need someone to show me around, just help me out in general because I might find it really hard to do. But fortunately, I am going with a friend to England and they have been there before. So it's really nice that I won't need to do it on my own. One final tip is to don't forget to be kind to yourself. I know that traveling is stressful for everyone, but when you're neurodivergent, boy oh boy, it can feel like an even bigger challenge. Just remember that it's okay to feel how you feel and it's okay to take things at your own pace. So that's my main plan for traveling as a neurodivergent person. It's definitely going to be an adventure, and while it may be challenging, I'm excited to share my experiences with you once I am back. If you're neurodivergent and have travel plans coming up, I hope these tips help you feel a little more prepared. And if you've got any tips of your own, I would love to hear them. Just drop them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you won't be missing any of my upcoming videos where I will dive deeper into my Artscape experience and other topics about neurodivergence in general. So safe travels everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!